We will start with Leipzig versus Manchester City, which I think is a fascinating game on Wednesday night. We'll take a look at the betting as we have it on matchbook.com, and Mark's touched on Leipzig's form in the Bundesliga, and they're kind of priced up accordingly at around 4.8. Manchester City 1.84. The draw is 4.0. Both teams to score yes is available at around 1.72, and no is 2.32. Leipzig are getting a 3/4 of a goal head start at 1.9. City in that market at 2.04, and the total is 3 goals shaded towards the under. Mark, you have a strong fancy in this game, and you've kind of touched on some of Leipzig's forms. You're expecting them to be really, really competitive here against City.
Yeah, really looking forward to this. I don't think this match is a foregone conclusion at all, and I don't think the two-legged tie is either. I think Leipzig have got a puncher's chance here of pulling off something quite exciting. They were the better team home and away against Real Madrid in the group stages, if that matters at all. They have had a couple of hiccups this calendar year since the World Cup break. They tried to change system because their sort of chance creation and goal conversion had dipped a little bit since the World Cup break, but didn't go too well to plan. They lost at home to Union a fortnight ago, but bounced back at the weekend with a really impressive 3-0 destruction away at Wolfsburg. Went back to the 4-2-3-1. Christian and Nkunku came off the bench for the last 20 minutes, which is a huge plus for them, an enormous boost. But, Dani Olmo is missing, but you still look at the sort of blend and variety that they've got in midfield and going forward. This is a team who've got so many different threats from different ways. Andre Silva can finish chances brilliantly. Timo Werner not had the best campaign, but he's got pace. He will trouble teams who play a high line. Emil Forsberg, as we know, can create opportunities. Dominic Szoboszlai, not just from set pieces, but from distance, can score goals. David Raum just bombards from fullback as well. They will have a go here. They score goals. They love to get forward and create chances, especially at home. As I said, they've been the most consistent and best performer in the Bundesliga since Marco Rose took over, scoring freely. The issue they have, I think, is at the back. They don't keep clean sheets consistently. And Peter Galassi, the goalkeeper, is missing through injury. So that is a downgrade. Now, obviously, I know the group stage is played under different dynamics, but if you look at their 6 games, 4 went over 3.5 goals. All 6 featured at least 2 goals. And the matches against Real Madrid were really good fun, really high XG numbers and loads and loads of shots as well. So I do like the over 2.5 goals. I think Leipzig do score. Obviously, you expect Man City to score whoever they're playing against, and then you're just looking for a third goal to get over the 2.5 line, which I think is passable. They played each other last year. Leipzig had a different coach. It was 6-3 at the Etihad and 2-1 in Germany. The City had already qualified before losing 2-1 in Germany, but even still, I think there's sort of precedence there. And City were given 2 really tough games by Dortmund in the group stage. And if you look at their away record in the Premier League, they've failed to win half of their away matches domestically. And they've only won twice away at teams in the top 14, recording just 1 clean sheet in 8 away games at those top 14 teams as well. So, they're not the sort of slick City we've come to expect. We've talked about it a few times now on the podcast. So, I give Leipzig a real chance here, but I think goals are the smarter selection.
Okay, yeah, Adrian, you're in agreement as well. Would you share Mark's concerns of City's away record there, and maybe perhaps their inability to keep clean sheets on the road?
Definitely, yeah. Just home or away, 5 of their last 8 games have gone overs, but 5 of their last 8 games, both teams have scored. In Manchester City matches, the win at Arsenal is their only win in their last 5 as well. So they're not coming into it in amazing form. I was really impressed with them when I saw them in the second half at Emirates Stadium. But yeah, and although they played very well against Nottingham Forest for a long periods, it was a really wasteful match in the end, wasn't it, for them? And it was a very, very poor goal to concede defensively, where Bernardo Silva again in this left back berth gets caught in a position he's not comfortable in, dives in, they play around him. Laporte's put in an awkward position, they play around him. Don't know what Rodri's doing, and then they slot the ball across the face of goal for Wood. It was a mess, and I think at the Champions League level, the reason why I don't think they're favourites for the Champions League, even though all the bookies do, is that I still don't think they're brilliant when they don't have the ball. Manchester City and Leipzig have got very dangerous players, as Mark's been outlining. You look at their record in terms of overs, 6 of the last 8 games and have gone over. 6 of their last 8 in the Bundesliga. Both teams have to score has landed as well. It does feel like BTTS is almost nailed on here. I'm really interested about the battle as well between Gvardiol and Haaland. I think that's a really exciting duel between a sort of a beast of a young centre half and obviously, probably the world's best number 9 centre forward. That's going to be fascinating. It really is. And yeah, Haaland, I don't know, his form's a little bit patchy. I mean, he's, by his amazing standards, it's a little bit patchy. I thought it was interesting in the last 2 games, in good positions, he hit the deck. He looked to go to ground. There's one with Gabriel, bit of a tussle, it got overturned. And then obviously the one at the weekend against Forest, he was away. He was looking for the pen. Is that a sign of a slight lacking confidence there, a little dip there in his own head that he's not backing himself to convert them? I suspect it might be.
Okay, I hadn't thought of that with Haaland, those 2 incidents. Yeah, obviously he could have probably stayed on his feet for at least one of them. Yeah.
Well, the Forest one for sure he could. Yeah.
Forest one for sure. Yeah. Where while it was probably a foul, yeah, he could have stayed on there, got the second goal. Interesting play. Incidentally, you mentioned City as favourites, so they are 3.1 in the outright market. Bayern have shortened a lot since you tipped them up last week, Adrian, into 4.7. So look, City are quite short if Mark and Adrian's concerns are correct on City. Miguel, you are a little bit more confident that City will get the job done here, but there will probably be goals in this game.
I mean, it does just strike me as one of those games where, I mean, it actually seems in the last 16, every single year, City get the kind of 3rd or 4th place German side who's going to play Schalke, Borussia Mönchengladbach, Dortmund, I suppose, it would usually be the 2nd place team, and they generally get through with absolutely no problems. Maybe this is a little bit kind of different this year because it still feels like City are somewhat erratic, and that is indicated by the fact they followed the win over Arsenal with that 1-1 draw against Forest the weekend. And it's possible that Arsenal game, it was one of those situations where, because the kind of the context of the game and the grandeur of it and the meaning of the title race kind of focused them. But then as soon as it ended and they got the win, it's almost like they were kind of back to the normal of this season, which has been a strangely erratic Manchester City. And that for that reason, I would leave the game a little bit open in that sense. I do think City will concede, but I think they'll have too much power for Leipzig here.
Yeah, I suppose if you do think there is a slight quality gap and City winning both teams to score is quite a big price, Miguel, around 3.55, just over 5-2. We will lock in over 2.5 goals with the lad selections on 1.76. I will kind of share some of those concerns and kind of covers you if City do go on an absolute batter Leipzig as well. So it is a safe play, hence the odds at around 1.76.